In the silence of dawn, a subtle whisper awakens the soul. There is a silent invitation that breaks routine and encourages discovery. The beating heart longs for a truth that transcends everyday life. In the midst of calm, the mind finds space to glimpse new horizons. Thus begins the journey, where each step reveals a new meaning. Moments of introspection emerge as bridges between the ephemeral and the eternal. The gaze turns inward, discovering nuances of bravery and fragility. An unexpected encounter with the divine ignites hope in the midst of doubt. Each moment becomes a rhythmic rhythm of transformation and renewal. Silence becomes an ally, opening doors to self-knowledge. Between shadows and lights, the soul finds itself facing a mystery that invites it to evolve. The call is not only an impulse, but a challenge to break internal barriers. Subtle conflicts give way to courage that manifests itself in small gestures. With each heartbeat, the spirit strengthens and prepares for the new. The journey is marked by uncertainty, but also by promises. With each dawn, new perspectives emerge that dissolve old fears. The environment is transformed into a scenario where the impossible becomes possible. The mind learns to dance with contradictions, mixing reason and feeling. The heart, recognizing its own vulnerability, embraces authenticity. Therefore, faith is not just a destination, but a continuous process of discovery. In the midst of everyday challenges, a strength emerges that transcends logic. Each experience, whether triumph or loss, contributes to the formation of a unique being. The divine is revealed in the subtleties of unexpected moments and simple gestures. The soul undresses and finds beauty even in the imperfections of the path. The call to faith becomes a vibrant dance between challenge and improvement. The spiritual journey goes beyond simple belief. It is a narrative of renewal. Each intimate reflection remakes the architecture of being, opening new dimensions. In the midst of uncertainty, hope becomes a beacon that illuminates dark paths. Moments of doubt become opportunities to reaffirm convictions. Thus, commitment to the divine is enriched by the diversity of experiences. The beginning of this journey is marked by a commitment that encompasses both light and shadow. Each breath becomes a conscious act of courage and discovery. In the encounter with the unknown, the spirit finds space to grow and reinvent itself. The narrative is made up of intense moments where learning is present. And, in the end, the call to faith resonates as an invitation to live each new day intensely. From the beginning, there has been a sacred echo that guides existence. Believing in a greater plan reveals an order that goes beyond what is visible. In every detail of daily life, the divine hand is felt. The spirit is lifted by realizing that every event has a purpose. Faith becomes the lighthouse that illuminates the path even in days of uncertainty. In the dance of life, every experience is part of a divinely orchestrated script. The feeling of belonging to something greater comforts and inspires. By recognizing the hidden order of a universe, the mind calms. Each challenge is reinterpreted as an essential teaching for evolution. Thus, the heart rests in the certainty that nothing happens by chance. The conviction of a blessed destiny transforms uncertainties into hope. By contemplating the divine, the being discovers hidden forces within itself. Moments of adversity take on new light when they are considered part of the plan. The sacred manifests itself in gestures, encounters, and silent revelations. Each moment reinforces confidence in the wisdom that governs the paths of life. Faith is not just a belief, but a commitment to the mystery of the universe. The mind opens to interpret the signs that point to a greater purpose. Every event, no matter how simple, bears the mark of a divine order. The heart is strengthened by the realization that apparent chaos may have a hidden purpose. In this way, the divine is revealed, guiding the journey with subtlety and precision. By immersing yourself in the belief that there is a well-laid plan, the soul is transformed. Each lesson learned is understood as a piece of a universal puzzle. The encounter with the sacred inspires a serenity that defies internal storms. The spirit is renewed with each revelation, sometimes subtle, sometimes intense. Thus, the spiritual path takes the form of a narrative of love and mystery. In moments of introspection, the being reconnects with the essence of the divine. Each prayer and silence reveals a symphony that transcends human understanding. The conviction that a divine roadmap guides each step brings peace and resilience. By accepting that the universe develops according to a higher logic, the heart calms down. The mind is freed, allowing faith to express itself in renewed attitudes and hopes. Believing in the divine plan transforms life into a journey full of meaning. Every day becomes an opportunity to discover the beauty of the signs of the Creator. The spirit is intoxicated with the feeling that every detail has its predestined place. Thus, faith is consolidated as the force that drives us to overcome all challenges. And in this constant rediscovery, the being finds the peace of being in harmony with the universe. Faith appears like a flame that illuminates the deepest corners of the soul. In each challenge, she reveals herself, bringing courage and renewal. Inner conviction is strengthened with simple gestures and moments of reflection. The spirit is enriched by transforming doubts into certainties, step by step. Thus, the light of belief renews the vigor of a being in constant evolution. Each moment lived with faith reconfigures the internal landscape of the heart. Challenges are seen as invitations to reveal hidden strengths. Trust is built through small acts of dedication and improvement. The being discovers that believing in the impossible is transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. Thus, the internal energy is aligned with the force that comes from deep within. In the encounter with the sacred, the mind is freed and finds new possibilities. Each step taken toward faith solidifies inner courage. The experience of overcoming barriers becomes a daily lesson in resilience. The spirit is strengthened by realizing that every battle won leaves room for light. This inner journey reveals the transformative power that lives within each of us. Inner confidence comes from the recognition of one's own capabilities. Every challenge faced is an opportunity to broaden horizons and discover new strengths. Faith, when cultivated, transforms uncertainties into firm and lasting convictions. The heart expands with the understanding that each act of courage is a step towards self-transformation. Thus, belief becomes a pillar that supports personal and spiritual evolution. Each act of faith, no matter how small it may seem, forms a story of improvement and hope. The mind calms when feeling the presence of a force that transcends the visible. In the silence of moments of prayer, trust is rekindled with intensity. The spirit rejoices in the certainty that each challenge is part of a great learning experience. And so, the strength of faith is manifested in each renewal of hope. Inner strength is built from a sum of small victories and daily achievements. Every gesture of bravery resonates as a reminder of the unexplored potential of being. The mind opens to the greatness of the universe, transforming fears into challenges. The heart is strengthened by the continuous practice of believing and acting with conviction. Faith, in this process, becomes a vital energy that drives transformation. When faith becomes routine, the being is transfigured into its truest essence. Each small triumph illuminates the path and renews the commitment to transformation. Courage manifests itself in every decision that challenges the limits of what is known. The spirit rises with the certainty that the power within is unbreakable, and thus, confidence strengthens the soul, making it capable of overcoming any adversity. Fear, although natural, invites the being to explore its deepest corners. Each fear becomes, when faced, a step towards self-transformation. Vulnerability is revealed as the gateway to inner courage. The spirit is strengthened by transforming restlessness into actions that challenge limits. Thus, overcoming fear becomes a rite of passage towards a fuller life. To face the unknown is to recognize the existence of unexplored internal forces. Each step in the opposite direction of insecurity reveals a new facet of being. Pain and doubt become impulses to seek truth and self-knowledge. The heart, when it opens to the challenge, discovers a resilience that surprises. In this way, facing fear becomes the basis for renewed courage. The transformation of fear into courage arises from an honest encounter with one's own shadows. Every internal conflict is an opportunity to give new meaning to past experiences. By accepting imperfection, the spirit is freed to seek authenticity. The transmutation process becomes a journey of discovery and improvement. Thus, courage prevails as the light that dispels the darkness of fear. By facing fear, the mind learns to reconfigure its limiting paradigms. Each obstacle overcome reveals the ability to transform pain into learning. Confidence is strengthened when a person recognizes their own strength in the face of adversity. The heart finds comfort in the certainty that each challenge is an invitation to grow. This path of improvement makes courage a constant companion on the path through life. Courage manifests itself in small, everyday gestures that challenge the routine of fear. Each bold decision resonates as a manifesto of resilience and self-confidence. By facing fear, the being discovers itself capable of reinventing its own destiny. Transformation occurs when the interior opens to the possibilities of the new. Thus, facing fears becomes a ritual of rebirth and hope. Turning fear into action requires the courage to look inward and accept risks. Each internal battle is an invitation to transcend the limits imposed by the past. The spirit is revitalized by understanding that improvement is a continuous process. The mind illuminates with the conviction that each challenge brings with it a vital lesson. In this way, fear loses its power and gives way to the transformative force of courage. The journey to transform fear into courage is filled with moments of intense introspection. Every victory, no matter how small, builds a solid foundation for self-confidence. The heart is enriched with the certainty that challenges are springboards for evolution. The encounter with the unknown reveals the ability to reinvent oneself and overcome limits. Thus, courage flourishes and illuminates the path to a life of achievement and improvement. Prayer is revealed as a bridge that unites the human being with the divine. Each word is a note that makes up the symphony of the spirit. In the silence of prayers, the heart finds its place. The mind calms and opens to receive the essence of the sacred. Thus, the path of prayer leads to a transformative encounter. Between murmurs and silences, prayer becomes an intimate dialogue. Each moment of prayer reflects the search for deep meaning. The spirit connects with the source of love that transcends time. The inner voice rises and harmonizes with the sacred universe. In this encounter, the being discovers the calm that soothes the soul. The practice of prayer transforms daily life into a ritual of renewal. Each prayer becomes a journey toward inner clarity. The heart, in its rhythm, resonates with the force of the divine. The mind is freed by allowing moments of pure devotion. Thus, the being finds in prayer the essence of its renewed being. At the altar of life, every prayer is an offering of hope and love. Sincere surrender reveals the ability to transform the intangible into light. Every word spoken in prayer carries the magic of a new beginning. The spirit expands and embraces the truths that emerge from the silence. Prayer becomes the link that unites the human with the eternal. In every sacred moment, prayer renews the connection with the divine. The heart is filled with gratitude as we recognize the signs of the sacred. The mind quiets, allowing faith to flourish in each prayer. Dialogue with the divine becomes a balm for the wounds of the soul. Thus, the being is transformed, immersed in the serenity of the spiritual encounter. With each prayer, silence becomes a language of love and surrender. The spirit is strengthened by feeling the welcoming presence of the divine. Each word, charged with emotion, resonates like a song of faith. The heart rises, embracing uncertainties with the certainty of grace. In this ritual, prayer illuminates the path to a full life. Connecting with the divine through prayer is rediscovering the essence of existence. Each prayer is an invitation to dive into the depths of being and the sacred. The spirit finds peace in the harmony between silence and devotion. The mind tunes into the melody of the universe, revealing hidden truths. Thus, the path of prayer is established as the basis of a life full of light. Abraham stands out as a symbol of faith without hesitation. His career demonstrates that obedience can be a choice of deep love. Every decision made reveals a total commitment to a greater plan. The spirit is strengthened by following the path marked by the divine. Thus, his story inspires the confidence to live without needing all the answers. By accepting the unknown, Abraham teaches us to value sincere surrender. Each of your steps reveals the courage to act based on faith, even without guarantees. Uncertainty becomes an invitation to embrace the mystery of the divine. The heart lights up to understand that obedience can be an act of freedom. In this way, your journey becomes a legacy of trust and unconditional love. Acting without seeing the bigger picture requires a faith that transcends human logic. Abraham's every choice was guided by the certainty of a blessed destiny. The encounter with the sacred gives new meaning to the risk of surrendering to the unknown. The spirit is lifted with the conviction that each challenge is part of a divine story. His career transforms doubts into an invitation to trust without reservation. Abraham's exemplary obedience reveals that following a vocation can transform a person. Each decision becomes an act of surrender that builds bridges between the human and the divine. The heart finds comfort in surrender, even in the face of the deepest dilemmas. The mind opens to recognize that it is not necessary to understand everything to experience it. Thus, your story becomes a beacon that illuminates paths of faith and resilience. Abraham's surrender illustrates that often the greatest wisdom lies in trust. Each gesture of obedience reflects the courage to abandon earthly certainties. The spirit rejoices in the freedom to follow an unwavering inner calling. By surrendering to the divine, the being discovers that faith can move mountains. In this way, Abraham's lesson becomes an invitation to live authentically. Obeying without all the answers is, in itself, a revolutionary act of love and dedication. Each step of Abraham demonstrates that faith is built on the daily practice of trust. The heart is strengthened by understanding that the mystery of existence can be embraced. The mind is enlightened with the perspective that every challenge has a revealing purpose. His story teaches us that true freedom lies in surrendering to the divine. Abraham's lesson resonates through the centuries as a call to personal transformation. Each example of your obedience inspires complete and unreserved surrender. The spirit rises with the certainty that, by trusting, the being finds its true path. The mind opens to the beauty of a faith that manifests itself in everyday life and simplicity. Thus, your journey is consolidated as an eternal legacy of love, courage, and dedication. The journey of self-knowledge begins by looking within. Each reflection reveals layers of hidden feelings and memories. The heart becomes a mirror that reflects the inner truth. The mind expands by discovering the richness of one's own experiences. Thus, the being approaches the essence that makes it unique and authentic. In each moment of introspection, questions arise that illuminate the path. The internal search challenges pre-established beliefs and makes room for the new. Each insight is a piece that completes the mosaic of personal identity. The spirit is strengthened by recognizing both its strengths and weaknesses. In this process, the soul finds the freedom to be exactly who it is. The practice of reflection transforms pain into learning and growth. Each internal challenge becomes an opportunity to evolve. An honest look at your own imperfections makes you more resilient. The mind is purified by abandoning judgments and embracing the truth. Thus, self-knowledge is revealed as the foundation of a full life. Internal dialogue opens doors to a universe full of possibilities. Every deep thought builds bridges between the conscious and the subconscious. The heart finds comfort in the discoveries that come from honesty with itself. The mind is illuminated by recognizing the beauty that lies in vulnerability. In this way, daily reflection becomes a ritual of healing and transformation. Discovering the essence of being is revealing the secrets that are kept deep inside. Each lived experience contributes to the construction of a unique identity. The spirit rejoices in the recognition of personal gifts and challenges. The mind is freed by accepting that each scar carries a story of overcoming. Thus, self-knowledge becomes the lighthouse that guides the path of life. In the silence of moments of solitude, the soul finds deep answers. Each reflection is an invitation to embrace the totality of being without reservation. The heart calms with the realization that the inner journey is as valuable as the outer one. The mind is strengthened by awareness of the steps taken towards authenticity. Thus, the process of self-knowledge becomes a path of light and wisdom. Exploring your own essence is an act of courage and self-love. Each internal discovery enriches the personal narrative with shades of truth. Spirit is lifted by recognizing the importance of living sincerely. The mind connects with the universe by accepting its mysteries and contradictions. In this way, reflection becomes the key to a more conscious and full existence. Each challenge appears as a silent teacher, teaching essential lessons. Difficulties become bridges that lead to a new inner level. The being is reconfigured with each obstacle, discovering previously unknown forces. In adversity, each step is an invitation to renewal and self-discovery. Thus, daily tests become catalysts for personal growth. The experiences of pain and overcoming build the solidity of a new identity. Each internal battle sculpts the character, making it more resistant and authentic. Moments of crisis reveal the depth of transformative potential. The mind learns to transform difficulty into learning and evolution. In this process, inner transformation is reaffirmed as the essence of rebirth. By facing the shadows, the being discovers the light that has always resided within. Every challenge overcome is an achievement that expands the horizons of existence. Pain becomes an ally, opening the way to a deeper perception of life. Spirit is lifted by recognizing that adversity drives self-knowledge. Thus, the path is enriched with the wisdom forged in daily struggles. In the whirlwind of difficulties, each obstacle is revealed as a unique opportunity. The mind reorganizes and finds new ways to interpret life's challenges. The heart is strengthened by transforming difficult experiences into stepping stones to success. Each internal battle teaches that improvement is the true engine of evolution. In this way, personal growth is manifested through perseverance and courage. Inner transformation is a continuous process, marked by small victories. Each step, even if arduous, contributes to the construction of a new reality. The scars of the past are testimony to a strength that reinvents itself every day. The spirit rejoices in the certainty that challenges shape a stronger future. Thus, adversity becomes a luminous path towards self-development. Each obstacle faced pushes the being to transcend its previous limitations. Adversity becomes the raw material to build a new perspective. The heart warms with the certainty that each difficulty is temporary and transformative. The mind is freed by realizing that daily struggles reveal the true essence of the being. Thus, the process of inner growth solidifies in the experience lived with courage. Growing through challenges is learning to transform uncertainty into opportunity. Every difficult experience is an invitation to reevaluate and reconstruct your own story. The spirit is enlightened by understanding that transformation comes from everyday struggles. The mind expands, embracing the lessons that difficult times have to offer. And so, each step taken propels the being towards a deep and conscious evolution. Living faith in community reveals the power of unity on the spiritual path. Each encounter becomes a celebration of faith and shared love. The heart warms with the energy of bonds that transcend differences. The mind is enriched by absorbing stories and experiences that inspire. Thus, communion strengthens the spirit, creating a network of support and hope. In the midst of diversity, sharing experiences becomes a source of mutual learning. Each individual testimony adds a unique note to the collective symphony. The spirit is lifted by feeling the welcoming presence of each traveling companion. The heart is filled with gratitude for the sincere exchange that illuminates the path. In this way, the community becomes a refuge of love and renewal. Mutual inspiration arises from attentive listening and the exchange of challenges. Each word of encouragement lights a flame that drives improvement. The environment is transformed into a space where faith is manifested in a vibrant way. The mind opens to learn from the lessons that arise from sincere interaction. Thus, the meetings become milestones in the construction of a history of collective faith. Communion reinforces the idea that the spiritual path is made up of shared steps. Every hug and smile exchanged strengthens the belief that together we are stronger. The spirit rejoices in the certainty that union creates transformative energy. The heart lights up with the empathy that permeates every gesture and every look. In this way, living faith in community is revealed as an enriching and supportive experience. In daily life, each interaction becomes an invitation to reflection and growth. Each story shared serves as inspiration to face life's challenges. The spirit is strengthened by understanding that collective wisdom is an invaluable treasure. The heart is filled with hope when we recognize that together we can overcome barriers. Thus, faith is manifested in a more intense and palpable way when it is lived in communion. The exchange of experiences between brothers along the way creates an indissoluble bond. Each gesture of solidarity lights the flame of hope and brotherly love. The atmosphere is filled with light when mutual support becomes the basis of coexistence. The spirit is lifted by realizing that every small act of kindness impacts everyone. In this way, mutual inspiration transforms the community into a true temple of faith. Living faith in community is celebrating the beauty of diversity united for a greater purpose. Each meeting becomes a ritual of sharing and renewing vows of love and hope. The heart is happy to feel the vibrant presence of those who walk together. The mind is illuminated with the lessons that only communion can provide. And thus, mutual inspiration consolidates the certainty that, together, the divine is present in every gesture and look. At the end of the journey, each lesson learned becomes a valuable legacy. The heart is filled with gratitude for the experiences that shape the soul. Each step taken reveals the beauty of a path bravely traveled. The mind calms as it realizes that the purpose lies in the journey itself. Thus, the call to live with hope is present in every heartbeat of our being. The conclusion of this cycle is not an end point, but the beginning of new horizons. Each challenge overcome builds the foundation for a life full of meaning. The spirit is strengthened with the conviction that each new beginning brings light. Faith is renewed with each dawn, inviting us to look toward the future. In this interweaving of experiences, purpose is revealed as the essence of life. Each lesson learned transforms everyday life into a work of art. The heart connects with the beauty of small victories and great learnings. The mind is illuminated with the clarity that each journey has its own value. Moments of uncertainty give way to a firm conviction in the power of hope. Thus, the path is filled with meaning, inviting you to a life full of purpose. The experience lived translates into a permanent invitation to renewal. Every moment becomes a reminder that life is made up of new beginnings. The spirit rises with the certainty that the divine accompanies every decision. The mind is organized to see opportunities even in apparent goals. In this way, the conclusion becomes the prelude to new stories of faith and love. Living with purpose means accepting challenges and transforming every obstacle into learning. The heart rejoices with the certainty that the path is a constant flowering. Every day is presented as a blank canvas on which to paint new hopes. The mind is enriched by recognizing that the end of one cycle is the beginning of another full of possibilities. Thus, hope is renewed, guiding the being toward a fuller and more inspiring existence. Every decision made with faith becomes a step towards realizing your most intimate dreams. The spirit is strengthened by realizing that true transformation occurs from the inside out. The heart is filled with confidence when understanding that purpose is a continuous path. The mind expands with the perspective that, even in the face of challenges, there is always a new dawn. In this way, life is revealed as a symphony of moments that celebrate hope. The call to a life of purpose resonates as an eternal invitation to authenticity. Each shared experience becomes a beacon that illuminates paths of renewal. The heart is inspired by the certainty that, by living with intention, we transform the world around us. The mind is enchanted with the vision that every new beginning is a divine gift. Thus, the journey ends, but the essence of hope and purpose remains forever. If you were inspired by this journey and want to continue exploring these topics, please subscribe to the channel and follow our upcoming content. Thank you for being with us on this journey.